Was Ron Paul the person that sort of convinced you that libertarianism could be a powerful movement?
Yes. Ron Paul convinced me of a lot of things, man. He's really been a North Star to me this whole time, ever since then. I was so excited I'll tell you, the first time I ever saw Ron Paul was 10 years before everybody else got their big Giuliani moment when Ron whooped Rudy Giuliani in that debate in May of 2007, where they fought over the motivation of Osama bin Laden to attack us on 9/11. Ron said it's because we were bombing Iraq from bases in Saudi for 10 years. Everybody knows that. And Giuliani flipped his lid, and Ron was, of course, heroic and right. But my Giuliani moment was a decade before. I saw Ron in the middle of the night on C-SPAN, Dr. Paul, on C-SPAN, in the middle of the night, speaking to an empty Congress, except whoever was filling in the speaker chair. Mr. Speaker, I have here in my hands reports from the British press today about how George Bush was selling chemical weapons to Saddam Hussein, leading right up to the invasion of Kuwait. What's up with that? And we still have all these sanctions and doing all these things, and we're so responsible for this guy's evil in the first place after we had backed him all that time and all these things, and this is not wise foreign policy, Mr. Speaker. We ought to come home. And I'm like, wow, that any congressman would say anything that honest on the record inside the Capitol building like that. I couldn't believe it. And I looked at the bottom of the screen. It says Ron Paul, R, Texas. And I'm like, no way. Because, Bush Sr. himself is nominally from here, right? He's from Connecticut, really. But he made his fortune here in oil and lived here for a very long time. And, has raised his family in West Texas for much of the time and that kind of thing. So he's an extremely important guy in Texas politics. So for this congressman to dare to say that, he's essentially accusing Bush of treason. Okay. I'm interested in this guy. And then I'm reading the New American Magazine, which is the John Birchers magazine. They have a very bad rap as racist and stuff, which is totally not true. They're conspiratorial, and I don't agree with them on everything, and they're more conservative than me. But they're good people. They're George Washington's Constitution guys and mostly Protestant and Catholic Christians and American patriotic folk. They're good people. And the editor of their magazine at that time was the great William Norman Grigg. And he would run Ron Paul stuff constantly. He would cover Ron. And then I used to be a pirate radio guy. So I would call his weekly update. I don't know if he still does this. It was 888-322-1414. And then I would just play the Ron Paul weekly update and put that out over the air. And it was always just killer stuff, dude. Financial, monetary policy and boom and bust and the evils of war. I would drive around in my cab and I would have printed out Ron Paul speeches. And there was one that was called A Republic, If You Can Keep It. And then, which is the famous Benjamin Franklin quote to the baker lady about, what do we have, a monarchy or a republic? A republic, if you can keep it. And then the sequel was called, I'm sorry, Mr. Franklin, we're all Democrats now. And it was just so good. And I would give this to people in the cab. Hey, did you know there's one good congressman? One. And he's not good. He's better than Thomas Jefferson. Read this and read this and read this. And this is the light and the way. And the thing is all I'm selling you is a peaceful foreign policy. I'm not saying and freedom overall, as this is what Ron Paul emphasizes. If he's asking for your trust or your faith in anything, it's just that you trust in freedom, that it does work. It's why we have all this stuff, is because of liberty in the first place. And so you can count on that, But otherwise, he's not selling you anything. He delivered like a third of the population of his district when he was a baby doctor, right? He's not going anywhere. He wasn't soliciting donations. He wasn't asking you to join his cult or his sect of Protestant Christianity. He was just saying, we don't have to do this stuff. We don't have to believe in this. They say these things, but geez, that doesn't seem right, because what about this thing? Mm-hmm. And he's just so wise and so good. And his aides, by the way, his right-hand men all that time were also really great guys too, especially Jeff Deist and Daniel McAdams has been his right-hand man and his great, advisor this whole time.
And another just really good human being.
Yeah. Well, he is. And he's a doctor, not a lawyer. He delivered 4,000 babies. And, I met his sister-in-law who married his older brother, Wayne. And she says to me, yeah, well, when you guys say that Ron Paul delivered 4,000 babies, well, I did too, because I'm his head nurse and I delivered every one of them myself too, along with him and all of that thing. So that's where he comes from. He's a decent, sweet old country doctor. He's married to his high school sweetheart since her Sweet 16 party. Okay. No scandals, not a hint of it. He's got, 150 grandchildren or whatever he is. This is the American dream. It's perfect, dude. And nobody's got nothing on him.
Yeah.
Right? He's the best.
I wish we lived in a country where a guy like that can have a chance of being president.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It could have been, dude. Listen, the Republicans of the United States of America nominated John McCain and Mitt Romney instead of him. You explain that to me. When we got George Washington himself, only without the slaves and without the bloody hands. The only vet in the race, but he was a doctor in the Air Force. The only one. He got up on stage and quoted Jesus, and they booed him.
He's the guy that's supposed to be president. You say George Washington, one of the greatest Americans ever. That's the guy.
That's the guy, dude. Could have been. Hey, and if you doubt me, just go to antiwar.com/Paul and read the last 30 years of everything he's had to say about everything. What can I tell you, man?